This time, the pilgrimage was a lot closer to home, especially for my friend Jessica, who we went for her birthday. We went to St. Joseph's, a church that was built by her grandfather in Edinburg, Texas. This is also the church her family grew up, including the baptismal font where Grammy was baptized. We also got to go over to San Juan of the Valley. It's a national shrine. This is also a personal church. Her grandfather built the original church, and the grandmother used to comb the hair of Mary that sets up in this area. It's a small Mary statue that's kind of hard to see. This was the original bell tower. A crazed person actually flew their plane in at San Juan. It ultimately didn't kill anybody, but it destroyed the original church that her grandfather built. Here on the grounds, you can tell that at one point this was out in the middle of nowhere. They were so peaceful, and these beautiful life-size Stations of the Cross. But now there's a giant highway interstate that's being constructed next door to it. And so definitely it changes the environment. One of the things that I loved as we prayed the stations is just the grounds that they had and how they had taken the shrine, retreat center, and also had it as the diocese offices. So it was really a great use of the space, creating this little Catholic piece of heaven down in San Juan of the Valley, which is in Mission, Texas. These Stations of the Cross were absolutely gorgeous. And it really just gave us a chance to meditate. Even with the interstate being there, you could really be able to get into the Stations of the Cross. Now, if you have problems with external noise, maybe it's not the place for you to go pray stations, but if you're able to block out the external noise of the cars, then you will definitely enjoy the peaceful grounds that San Juan of the Valley provides, and for the life-size Stations of the Cross. As you know, I have a great love for the prayer of the Way of the Cross. It was really transformational in my own faith journey. And so anytime that I have a chance to pray the stations, I love to pray it. I also love the opportunity to provide for other people. If you come down to the retreat center that I'm at, you see how many stations we've added since I've come to make it available for people. So it's just a way for people to connect and to pray and to seek God. So it's here, San Juan of the Valley. It's a Mexican, Texas tradition. So if you're outside of Mexico or Texas, you might not have heard of Our Lady of San Juan. But if you are in the state of Texas or in Mexico, you have probably heard of Our Lady of San Juan, especially if you're down in the valley area. So her grandfather built, I think it was over 30 churches. So we didn't get to visit all those churches, but we did get to go to some other churches on this pilgrimage. So we headed on over to Padre Island, the island being named after a priest. Prior to crossing over to Padre Island, we went to a church in Port Isabella. This was also a church that her grandfather built. So we weren't able to go inside because Mass was not happening that week. Father was on vacation, so we sat outside to pray. And as we were outside praying, one of the women that I studied with at Christian College, one of the Regnum Christi consecrated women, she comes walking by. So it was great having a chance to visit with a friend. We finished our pilgrimage here in the south as we went to Corpus Christi to the Pax Christi's Convent chapel of these sisters. So it's a magnificent chapel built with their retreat center. I actually had, during my time of discernment, where I went down to visit with the Pax Christi sisters, it happened at the time that they were building this chapel. So previously, on my previous journey, they had the scaffolding as the painter was up there in the dome painting it, and I had a chance to be up there close. So it was great to bring my friend and her children there to show them the Eucharist images. So that concludes our South Texas pilgrimage on the celebration of the birth of my friend and her life. God bless.